Hello, 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 and welcome to the Lust Podcast Show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, the Boss Lady.
And I'm the D.O.C.
And we would love for you to continue to join us for our weekly conversations about life, culture, and everything else. Get to know us, get to love us. This episode of Cigar Junkie is sponsored by Cigar Junkie and CJS Educational Services. I want you to check out our merch at cigarjunkies.com. But before we jump into this episode, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great on this June day, Juneteenth.
Okay. Blessed as well. No complaints. So
Never no complaints.
Never
All
no
about getting
complaints.
money. As long as I'm getting money, I got no complaints.
All right, so let us jump into this 3-course meal. And so this episode is kind of intertwining with another episode that we recorded where Love Jones and the Ode to Love and things of that nature was the topic. And so we said for this particular episode, this was kind of like our ode to couples and things of that nature. But before we get into that, we wanted to kind of talk about something that was a recent hot topic, but just something that I just thought was interesting. So I really wanted to get the D.O.C. perspective on this. And this was the whole debacle over Apple's Music declaring Lauryn Hill's album, Miss Educational Lauryn Hill, as the greatest album of all time. And so they had this top 10 list, which we do have in front of us. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on.
Well, before we do that, get the rest of the top 10. I think to give people perspective.
So, top 10. Number 1 was Miss Education of Lauryn Hill. 2 was Thriller, Michael Jackson. 3 was Abbey Road, The Beatles. Number 4 was Prince, Purple Rain. Number 5 was Frank Ocean, his album Blonde. Number 6 was Songs of the Sky. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder, 7 was Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. 8 was Back to Back, Amy Winehouse. 9 was Nevermind, Nirvana. And 10 was Lemonade, Beyonce.
All right.
So
first of all, there's no way in hell Lauryn Hill's album is better than the greatest pop star of all time, Michael Jackson, my hometown hero from McGary, Indiana, 23rd and Jackson Street. There's no way in hell that album, even though the Miss Education Lauryn Hill is an amazing album, there's no way that that's better than Thriller.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's no way. So Thriller is number 1. I don't even know how that's even possible. But I think that's the reason why they did it. It's just like it's almost clickbait, trolling, in a way, just to generate controversy and discussion, but there's no way in hell that's Thriller is not number 1. The other thing is that Frank Ocean, he should not be in the top 10.
I was waiting on him to say that.
How can you have a top 10 and don't have Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston?
No, I agree with that.
So, I mean, you can't have a top 10 and not have those two in it. To me, it's not legitimate.
Definitely agree with that.
I'm just keeping it real. I'm just looking at volume, number 1 hits. Mariah Carey, she can't have all those number 1 hits and not be in the top 10.
That's true.
You can't be Whitney Houston, which is all pop divas are all defined by. And not so to me that doesn't make sense. But I could see Good Kid, Mad City being up there. I definitely could see that. I could see the Blueprint being up there too as well. It's for a rap album. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think every person that you said that should be added to this, I said ditto. So Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. I'm gonna be honest. I like Lauryn Hill's album, but I don't think it was number 1. I'm just being real. It's not, especially again, and the fact that they rated Lauryn Hill over. I ain't gonna lie, people in this Beyonce phase that I can't believe that they allow her to be above Beyonce. So. I don't think it's really a credible list.
Then not all of the Beyonce albums is Lemonade the one that should have been?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, everybody. Some people really like Lemonade. It was cool. It was a good album. I don't know. I'll leave that for the people to feel.
So y'all let us know who y'all think is the best between Lauryn Hill and Michael Jackson? Y'all let us know.
Okay. Now, what I did find interesting is that when I looked at the most Grammys by a rapper, I was surprised to see that Jay-Z and Kanye West was both tied with 24 Grammys. Are you shocked at that number?
I'm not surprised by that.
Okay. Because the fact that they're tied?
Yeah, but when you consider a GOAT, and that's the reason why Kanye West has always said that he's the greatest rapper of all time. So he has the numbers to back it.
And Jay-Z, I think, said that
he's probably maybe you can Google this. Who sold more albums, Kanye West or Jay-Z?
Okay.
Because I would say that Kanye West has sold more albums than Jay-Z. So it's kind of crazy, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Jay-Z fan before Kanye West. I've seen Jay-Z probably 5 or 6 times. Versus, I think I've seen Kanye twice, maybe. But I don't deny the genius of Kanye West. I think he is a genius. And I think Jay-Z is as well. But between the two, I think it's a toss-up. But I wonder who sold more.
Now, they say more platinum albums. Jay-Z had 11, Kanye had 9. So when you look at platinum albums.
But I'm talking about most of all time. How many did it say?
It really did.
Yeah, how many albums?
It really didn't give me. No, that says, yeah.
Highest 16 highest rappers of all time. What is that?
Let's see. Eminem is number 1.
I figure Eminem would be 1. So we got Eminem is number 1.
He's number 1.
6 to 1.5.
Kanye, looks like Kanye West, but.
Read next. Is that it, or where's it go?
Oh, no, this is weird. This is one of the most shiesty
Go up, Cheech. Go up.
This is one of those shiesty. Tupac 2. I don't know why it's coming in so slow. Tupac was number 2 with 36.5 million sold.
It's going up the other way. You got to go up.
Oh, okay. It's stupid. It's going backwards.
No, it's not. Goes from 10 to 1. So start at 10 and he goes down. There you go.
Okay. So, LL Cool J, 16. You want me to just go to 10?
No. Snoop. Okay, LL Snoop. This is
Nas. Snoop. Next. Ludacris. DMX. 50 Cent.
So, top 10. B.I.G. Biggie. Nelly. Outkast. Beastie Boys. Lil Wayne, number 6. Kanye West, number 5. Drake, number 4. Jay-Z's number 4. Jay-Z's number 3. Pac's number 2. And Eminem's 1. So believe it or not, Tupac is better than all of them.
Yeah.
And Eminem. So I'm not surprised by Eminem. So none of that's surprising.
Now, were you surprised that Eminem was the only white rapper on the list?
Yeah. Okay. Who else would that be? Macklemore?
Shit, I don't know. I don't keep up with white rappers, so I don't
Machine
know.
Gun Kelly? Paul Wall?
I don't know. Now, this I thought was very interesting. Andre 3000 got 9 Grammys and Outkast got 6. I was surprised that Andre 3000 got so many.
Yeah, because of those Stank On Your albums, The Love Below and Speaker Box. Those were great albums.
That is. All right. Okay, so that is it for our appetizer. Let's just dive into this entree. And this is, like I said, stemming from another episode that you will see and make the connection. This is kind of like an ode to love, an ode to couples, and basically just coming off two main key questions, and then looking at some examples of these questions through different examples. And so, first question. Do people really compare their relationships to other couples' relationships? Do you think that is a thing that actually happens?
Yeah, I think that unfortunately in the era of social media, that happens. And because of that, in this era of social media, people are always constantly comparing themselves, even if they don't even know it on a conscious level. And I think that indirectly, that then puts stress on a relationship. I mean, you've come at me before talking about why I don't post, Women Crush Wednesday or some shit like that. And you get mad at me because I don't post like the rest of these niggas are posting on that. And I'm like, because what they doing, what the fuck they got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, and because I post that means that I'm not because I don't post that. That means that I'm not expressive of my love for you. So people do it all the time.
That's
you have people that go out to eat. They're looking at restaurants. I mean, so it could be good and bad. You know, the other thing, you can get good ideas, dating ideas. So it can go. So for me, but people do that all the time. I mean, when you're going out with people are always doing that. I mean, people naturally are always comparing themselves.
True.
Two brothers that do that, two sisters that do that, two cousins that do that.
True.
I mean, two friends that do that. So I think that's a natural thing. But yes, I think couples do compare their relationships to other couples, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I think there's actually a human thing to do it. The other thing, the problem is that when it begins to seep into negative energy now.
That's true.
That's when you become envious, jealous,
right.
or you pocket watching. Right. You're like, how can them niggas afford to go on that trip? You pocket watching, G. You don't know what people doing.
That is true. That
so
is true.
There's nothing wrong with it, just as long as the energy stays positive.
Now, I like to say, yeah, I do think people do compare their relationship to other people's relationship. I do think they do. I like to look at it for the positives, like you said. Okay, you see that this particular couple, they travel, and they seems like they travel to all the good spots. So you look at that, and that gives you places, ideas to go. And things to do and stuff like that. So I like to look at it and compare, like, in that sense, like picking out those positives. Like, ooh, let me try this restaurant because I seen so-and-so go to this restaurant. Or let me travel to this place because I seen so-and-so travel to this place. So, yeah, I think if you, like you said, you look at it in a positive way, it can be useful and beneficial to help you in your own relationships.
Because I know people that travel quite a bit. I know a couple couples. And I've said, like, damn, I need to get my travel game up and do some things. And then when I do decide to venture out, I know what people to contact. In general, when I contact these people, they're more than willing and happy to give you tips and recommendations all the time. So I look at it from a positive thing when I see power couples doing stuff. And I mean, all I'm doing is always trying to make myself better. It's always about the mama mentality. Just making yourself better every day.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Mama mentality. We talked about that in previous episodes, and we said that that's something that can be used in all facets of life, not just education, but also with relationships and everything else. Something else with relationships. You brought up something with social media. And so there's a lot of like bullshit fads, I would like to say, that are on social media. Do you think a lot of these bullshit fads that pop up on social media, not even just social media, but just in society, period, do you think that some of those have ruined or influenced other people's relationship?
Give me an example what you mean by fads.
Like, for example, let's use like weddings, for example. Before social media, you typically could have a very small scale wedding, and it could still be something that is considered chic or, considered extravagant. I think now when you have weddings, and now that you have social media that comes into it, and now you have these reality shows that have weddings and things like that, I think now the concept of a wedding is that you have to have this extravagant grand scale thing just to have a wedding. So that's just one example, but of how.
Well, I get what you're saying, but I ain't been to no motherfucking weddings. The people I know ain't been getting motherfucking married, so I ain't been to none of that shit. So I can't compare. But I think a fad when you were saying weddings, what made me think was the fad of the prom send-offs. That's what made me think. So I think the prom send-offs, because of course, when I went to school. That date shit. You just showed up with your date and gave her the boutonniere and kept it moving. Y'all took pictures at the thing. The pictures they got was the official pictures at the place. You didn't have your own photographer, your own caterer, your own DJ, feed niggas that ain't got shit to do with it, decorating your house. Some niggas spent like $27,000 on like a Prince mock-up castle thing. That's the most extravagant I've ever seen it. But, I'm not in people's pockets, so I don't want to be a pocket watcher. But I believe that social media did influence people to have these sort of extravagant send-offs for their children, And, so for social media does do that. That's what it does. And if you're a person that is into that sort of business, you love it. because you're getting business. There's a whole industry that was generated because of black people and their prom send-offs. Whole generations, decorators, caterers, food caterers, dessert makers, photographers. All these people are, because typically photographers only had business with weddings. That was it. Now people getting prom send-off. They getting prom photo shoots. So it's good and bad. So I don't hate on nobody with that. My thing is I don't get caught up in all of the social media fads. I try not to get caught up in that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So basically you don't pay attention to that type of stuff when it comes to
I pay attention to
relationships and stuff.
But I mean, as far as relationships, what do you mean how it influence relationships? Make me understand. What do you think?
I mean, just like how people may look at relationship issues. They may get their relationship issue advice and stuff like that from social media. Like now you notice that there's a lot of different people, male and female, that now give relationship advice.
No, you mean like
and now you have people who are in these relationships,
this is the thing,
who are taking advice from all different sources.
You can't take advice from people that are not winners at what they do. So you have to be careful, because that's the problem with social media, is that a lot of people present themselves as experts. You got all these motherfuckers that overnight became financial experts, credit experts.
That's true.
These niggas ain't nothing but doing nothing but scamming, G. I don't hate on no nigga hustle. But overnight, these niggas ain't got no financial degree. They want to claim they watch YouTube videos. You can't even tell what book they read, but they somehow are financial gurus. So you have to be careful on where you get your information from. That's all I'm saying. If you listening to people, just know, get it from people that's been in the game for a minute. It's like with us, you know. If a person was listening to me, I'm like, well, they doing something right. They've been together 25 plus years in the game, 20 plus years of marriage. So they doing something right. Motherfuckers seem like they winning over there. Whereas you listening to a person that has 2 or 3 failed marriages. You getting relationship advice from a person that has 3 or 4 baby daddies. I'm just keeping it real. You getting financial advice from a person that doesn't even have more than $1,000 in the bank, and they're trying to tell you how to conduct business. It's like when we were going about the business of cigar junkies, and people were telling us stuff. I'm like, nigga, you don't got a graphic design degree. You don't understand what visual standards are. You know, nigga was arguing with me on putting a logo on the left side of the chest versus the right side of the chest. And I said, show me a fucking polo that has it on the left side of the chest. There's a scientific reason why it's on the fucking right side of the chest. Only dyslexic niggas will put it on the left side. All right?
Well, I guess we know your stance on that.
Yeah.
So I want to give you a few couples, and I want you to give me like your impression of these couples, or what your impression is of these couples. Okay. Mm-hmm. So first couple, Claire and Cliff Huxtable. We all know Cosby Show, Black family, black husband and wife. For me, that was one of my first few views of what marriage probably should be, or what a couple should be.
Well, my first one wasn't that. It was Florida and James Evans.
Well, I got Weezy and George Jefferson.
I said Florida.
Who?
And James Evans. I said Florida and James Evans.
Good times.
Good times. That's who I knew. That's who I could.
That is true.
That's who I could resonate, because they was in the projects. I lived in the projects. So that shit that resonated with me. Claire and Cliff, I didn't know niggas like that. But that was cool.
My fault.
That was cool, but I didn't know niggas like that. I related to Florida, James and Florida Evans from the projects, Cabrini Greens. Yeah, Walona, Juanita. That's who. My nigga JJ.
Okay, well, use them as a couple. So what did you see? How was there an example of a couple to you? Like a black couple to you?
Oh, you really want me to get into this? Oh, man.
The short version.
All right, the short version.
Other couples.
I think the reason why they never got out the motherfucking projects is because of Florida Evans. She was the worst, bro. She really held that family back.
Oh, wow.
She really, if you really look at it,
About what? Not working.
Praying to that God, saying that they couldn't move certain things. She was always scared to do stuff. She really hindered that family from really evolving.
Ooh, so for those of y'all who used to watch Good Time, I would love to hear y'all.
Yeah, if you really look at it and break it down.
Do y'all agree with the D.O.C. when he says that it was actually Mrs. Evans that just held them back?
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
That's a different angle.
Yeah.
That's a different angle.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pause on that.
And they stayed into it.
They did. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Weezy and George Jefferson?
Oh, man, those my people, man. Weezy just shows you, and people think that Weezy didn't do anything, but that was the whole point, was that this black guy had made enough I love the fact that he had made enough money where his wife didn't have to work, and she didn't have to work, and so, but really, if you really paid attention, she was the one that was really guiding and pulling the strings.
Oh, she was. He couldn't really do
But she just played her role.
In the background.
That's it.
I will give her
she let this nigga, she was a great way for me of showing how to compliment your man, play the role, and she got all the benefits with all the extra work.
Ooh. So with that, let's fast all the way forward.
She kept that nigga out of trouble. So everybody need a Weezy.
Okay.
Get you a Weezy.
So now fast forward all the way forward now. Using that example, what you just said, Michelle and Barack.
What about?
I'm using a couple examples.
I like Michelle and Barack. I got nothing to say.
I think how to stay in the background.
I think a lot of people don't know this about First Lady Michelle and President Obama, is that President Obama was actually her mentee. She was his mentor. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that, so it was a power dynamics. And she was always the one getting money and getting paid. So she had to step out of that role and then go in the background. It was no different than what Coretta Scott King did with MLK, Dr. King. A lot of people didn't know that she was an accomplished opera singer. She could have been world famous, but she stepped back out of that role. But anyway, I think that the image, and I've always said this, if you want to be a powerful couple, you need to emulate the example shown by First Lady Michelle Obama and President Barack Obama, because she shows you how to compliment, and I'm talking about compliment with an E. Compliment your man as opposed to compete. And I think that in a lot of relationships, just because of the way that black women were raised, and nothing wrong with that, they were raised to be leaders and things, and they naturally come in with a dominant personality. And sometimes, depending on the situation, you may not need to play that role.
That is true.
You may have a man that can be dominant.
It's an adjustment.
And so you pull back from that, but then at the same time, you're doing your thing too. Because I guarantee you, there's nothing major that he didn't confer with her with, because he already trusted her intelligence and advice.
That is true.
So I think she's the example, but I still think that they are not. The flip side of it is that now, post presidency,
it's different.
I don't think they together.
They're like separate.
They say I never really see them together and shit.
We don't really see pictures.
I'm just keeping it real.
Anybody see pictures of them together?
I don't really see them together that much.
Is that just like,
I don't see him wearing his wedding band.
Is that because somebody put in the comments, what y'all think about that? Are they still together?
So are they really still together?
Not our business, but hey,
it's like Hillary and Bill Clinton. They were legally married. It's no different than my man Joe Jackson and Katherine Jackson. They were legally married, but they all did their own separate thing. Okay. So I just wonder.
Okay.
But that's none of my business. So once again, I don't do relationships.
Got a couple more.
Who else you got?
Okay, so you still never answered the one about Claire and Cliff.
What about
you? Said that you didn't relate to them, but I know you watched the Cosby Show. So what did you think of them? Did you ever look at them as this is what a couple should be?
I like them. No, I really thought this was the couple should be. Two professional people doing their thing, raising their kids to be upstanding people. And then what I liked is that they showed the complexity in raising 4 different kids, 4 different personalities. Yeah. That's what I really got out of it. Yeah. And how both their different parenting styles came together to raise these kids to be productive members of society. So that's what I looked at it.
That is true. I did like the fact that they allowed her to have a career at the same time they allowed him. I think for me
that was different. That was very important.
That was very important because all you was hearing is that the woman was just in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was very important that they did.
The woman was in the kitchen making sure
she was a lawyer, correct?
Yeah,
she was a lawyer.
She had like cases and long hours and so I love the fact that they showed that not only was she a nurturing mother to all the kids they had, but she was also a career woman. And then she also had moments when she was just a wife. So for me, that was a very good idea of what I wanted in my own marriage. I wanted to be able to have be able to work. I wanted to be able to be a mother, and I also wanted to be able to be a wife.
And these people were upper class black people, and that was the other thing. That
was different too.
Because generally, when you saw people in New York, it was always the hood and the ghetto.
Exactly.
Whereas these were different. These were different type of niggas.
Exactly. Yeah. So another couple. Mm-hmm. Whitney and Bobby Houston.
I love them. I love me some Whitney and Bobby. I love them. It's really about
I know how she used to date.
Yo, hell to the no.
Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
Rest in peace to the great Whitney Houston. But it's really about those two. Is really about finding people that match your type of energy. They were meant for each other. A lot of people thought that on the surface, how did Whitney, this pop diva, get up with a guy like Bobby Brown? But if you really know Whitney's background, she was a girl from the hood out in Jersey, just like he was from the hood from Boston. Both from the East Coast, close in proximity. And so they clicked. They came from similar circumstances and backgrounds, parents and all that. So it made perfect sense for them. But for outsiders, of course, it may not have made sense. But I think they were... the other problem, though, with people like that is that if you have dysfunctional behaviors or toxic behaviors, they enable that. Mm. So one may have had, because people think that Bobby got Whitney on drugs, but actually he had problems with alcohol. Right. But at the same time, he had substance abuse problems, so he was enabling that. Just because he was going through his own demons and things like that. So that's the only problem when you have couples like that, is that if they, especially if they have toxic traits, not saying they're toxic people, but they have toxic traits that are dominant traits, those two things can collide and create what we saw with Whitney and Bobby and things like that. But so, yeah.
I would say at the same time, one of the things that I appreciated from them as a couple was that keep it real factor. Because I'm not going to lie, it just seemed like they never really cared about where they was, who they were around. It just seemed like they were them at all times. Meaning that if they was doped up, if they was high, if they was feeling good, they felt how they felt, and they didn't give a fuck about where they were. And I'm not gonna lie, that's the part that I just kind of love. Like, they were just them, bust out singing anywhere. Like, I just love them, so I love them. Okay, two last couples. Gotta throw this one in there. Will and Jada Smith. Because they are, to me, they're like a complex couple. Because you got the poly stuff, you got the impossible poly stuff with them, you got this entanglement, you got...
I think what it is with them is that, once again, like you said, I think you summed it up by saying complex. I think part of it is that a lot of people don't really, and part of it is they haven't really been open and discussed it. But I think they have moments where it seemed like they were engaged in a poly lifestyle, a polyamorous lifestyle. And so for the average person, they really don't completely understand what that is. And that's not normal to them. But whereas that's normal to Will and Jada. And so I think that's part of it. But once again, I don't get into people's relationship. I think that at some point in time, I do think that Jada's got issues. I think it appears that she's manipulative.
She got issues.
Just like Will has issues as well.
Yeah.
But they came together to make each person's better. Obviously, he still loves that woman because he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, which he should have. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Chris Rock should have let him slap the shit out of him.
Right,
but yeah, I think part of it is that they're engaging in a lifestyle that's not normal to the average person, and because of that, it seems weird to a lot of different people. And so, I personally I could care less what they're doing, what they're engaging in, what ethical non-monogamous lifestyle, which appears that they're doing or what have you. Okay. So as long as they're safe, as long as they're engaged with consenting adults, it's their business.
It is.
Yeah.
So last couple, and I'm this one I want to kind of just compare yay nay. So this is, if you had to choose a couple between these two couples, which couple would you choose? Jay-Z and Beyonce or LeBron and Savannah James? If you had to choose a couple between them two, who would you choose?
Well, I'm taking LeBron and Savannah James.
Okay. Why?
For one, Savannah James has been with LeBron on the journey from day one. So she's a woman that has known the struggle, been here with him through the struggle, through some of the trials and tribulations, through the highs and lows. Raised, I believe they got 3 children or 4 children together, 3 children. You've never heard about her in the news. You've never heard her.
Always beautiful.
Like Steph Curry's wife is Aisha Curry. She stays in the news. Some of these basketball wives got these whole shows. She does have a podcast out now that she's come out with. Because she's a seasoned woman. She's 40 plus years old. So she has a lot to talk about. And I think a lot of good advice to give. But that would be the couple. To me, they've never... Shit, LeBron been in the league 20 plus years. He ain't been in not one fucking controversy.
That is true.
Nothing with no women,
scandal,
no crazy shit.
Charges.
I mean, even Jordan had a scandal.
Yeah.
Even Kobe had a scandal.
Oh, yeah, we knew
so, no illegitimate children, no people coming out of the woodworks with crazy stuff. Whereas with Jay-Z and Beyonce, we know about the problems that they had.
They was on
we know that. We know that she may have carried a surrogate. And things like so. So I think their relationship was more so for Hollywood and optics and things like that and clout. Whereas these people were more organic. I put it that their relationship is more organic.
True, they seem like they were truly in love versus Jay-Z and Beyonce. Almost with them, it's like it was a fixed marriage. Like they were just fixed to be together. Yeah,
but they say Jay-Z had been after Beyonce for quite some time.
That's because he couldn't get Aaliyah. That's a whole other topic. So
who do you mean he couldn't get Aaliyah? Come on, let's get
what I heard was that although Dame Dash was
allegedly.
But Dame Dash was dating Aaliyah during her time of death, and allegedly, it was alleged that apparently Jay-Z really wanted Aaliyah and was coming after Aaliyah, but Aaliyah had no interest in Jay-Z, but she liked Dame Dash, which is why she dated them, to the point where it was allegedly said that even the plane that she was on was rigged, and it's so many conspiracy theories, but I do know that Jay-Z did like Aaliyah before.
I never really. So. I don't follow people's. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't like Aaliyah?
She was beautiful.
Who wouldn't like that?
Okay. Well, I like the couple examples and breaking that down. So that kind of concludes our.
What about Blueface and what's that girl? That crazy girl.
Toxic. It ain't nothing about Blueface and Christian Rock that I can say is that I'm glad that they are going their own separate ways, because what I'm gonna tell you is what their relationship showed was to these young people is that toxic is fun, that toxic is okay, that a girl whooping on a nigga and a nigga whooping on a girl was okay. That's the one thing I did not like about the highlight of their relationship being filmed, is that it showed to young people that
domestic violence was cool.
And it wasn't. So to them, boo, 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 boo.
Yeah, they tried to normalize dysfunction.
We're not doing that. No, that shit was unnormal, and I'm glad that they are no longer together.
You said unnormal.
I mean, not normal.
They just making up words.
Not normal shit. They got me all thrown out. Down to the last part of our show. Dessert. Fair foul. So I got a few fair fouls for you. First one is females proposing to men. Fair or foul?
I'm a traditionalist, so I think that's foul. I believe that women choose and men claim. And men can't claim if he's got that shit dumb.
Okay, I agree. I never would have, no matter how much I loved you, I never would have got on my knees to propose to you. So, yeah, that's foul. Next one. Couple social media challenges. A lot of times you see on TikTok, you see on things, couples doing this, skits together, dances together, all that different type of stuff. What do you think, fair or foul?
I mean, fair. You can do what you want. I'm not doing it because I don't do all that dancing and all that shit.
I've been trying to get him to do like a couple's video for the longest,
lame, bro.
And I cannot get him to do anything. Not even a song. I even just try to get him recording him like singing a song or something. He won't do anything.
I don't do stuff for other people's. Like I don't do that. Like that's
okay.
That's like just
okay.
That's dumb to me. I don't need that type of attention.
Okay.
I don't crave it.
Okay. Okay. I don't think it's about that all the time, but okay. All right. Fair or foul. Appealing to all of your partner's sexual desires. That is weird stuff included.
I think that's foul to a degree because I think that each person has their boundaries. So just say, for example, if you want to engage in anal sex and the woman doesn't, and she doesn't want to do that because your shit is just too humongous. She's like, no, nigga, no.
It could be other reasons.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that could be a reason. Like she's like, no.
Oh yeah.
So what you gonna do? Get upset? She don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? There's women that's into other weird shit, and no, I'm not doing that. Like it's like she want to do something. Like no, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
And just because no, I'm not. It's just everybody has their boundaries, and I think that it's important that you have communication with the couples.
That's the key.
So it's always having a conversation about what you like, what you don't like, things like
with
that.
Your safe word, all of that. Like we gonna put that. I agree. I think that's foul.
You could do something like if it was something that you wanted to try out with your lady and you wasn't sure, put on the little movie where they doing it or something. That particular move, or whatever. And she, depending on her reaction, she's like, oh, I may want to try that. Okay, then come on, let's see. If not, she's like, that's some nasty ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what's on a part B to that question? What is something that you would want
like,
to try?
For example, it could be something that a woman, like, a guy want to come in a woman's mouth versus on her titty. She's like, you're not coming in my mouth.
Okay, so answer my question. What is something that you would want to try? Based on this, what is something that you would want to try?
I don't know. What's something you would want to try?
Threesome.
Okay, I've had a threesome.
You know that. I know that. He love to say that. I've had a threesome. But no, I was just asking because it's based on a question. That's all. Okay. I think that was a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, fair or foul, having drama and conflict in your relationship. Because some people do believe that in order for a relationship to flourish and all that, you do have to have some form of conflict. Fair or foul?
I believe that conflict is important in a relationship. It depends on the type of conflict, whether it's internal conflict between the couples or external conflict. So external conflict is important. I believe that stuff that happens in life that you have no control over, and then the two people now have to come together to solve it. It could be something that happened with the kids. And now that's a conflict, and y'all have to come together to figure out how we're going to get through whatever the situation is. It could be somebody losing a job that has nothing to do with, once again, whereas internal conflict is completely different. And I believe that those things have to be addressed immediately. And then not only addressed immediately, you then have to put in action plans to make sure that there's no repeat occurrence. And then you check in to make sure that you're hitting your marks. And it's not like you have a weekly set meeting and shit, but these people know their spouse and they know the cadence and how to talk to them, and figure those things out. But that's what I would say. When you have, it could be financial conflict, and those things you can't allow to fester because then that leads to other shit. And then it leads to people not talking. It leads to people not being intimate. That then leads to other shit. That leads to other shit.
Right. So I do agree. So, you do need it, though. You do.
Oh yeah. Well, the test of a true.
I think it's accountability. Yeah. I think it's accountability piece to the relationship, making. And I'm not saying that it's just like a movie. It's just like writing. It's like that. You have to have some type of conflict to give it the whole story, and I think you need that to keep both people honest and accountable in a relationship. I don't know. The only thing that I say is like purposely creating drama, though. That's a no. You don't purposely create drama in your relationship. Okay. Like you don't purposely do all the shit that annoy your man or annoy your woman, or you don't purposely go out and do shit that's gonna cause a certain reaction or bring drama into your relationship. But I do think a little bit of drama and conflict is yeah.
To go back to your previous question, I thought about it. I think I would like to do 3 girls at once. I think I can handle 3 girls at once.
He skipped over just having his said 3.
I had to think about it because I didn't answer the question. I can
you
do
did.
3.
Thank you for answering. He said he wants a foursome. So 3 women. Okay. Y'all heard that, right? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for participating in Fair or Foul. And with that being said, we just enjoy having y'all, and we want to make sure that you all go and please subscribe. Again, the D.A.Lust L-U-S-T podcast show. We made it easy for you to find us on YouTube and all platforms. No doubt. Go out and find us.
Hit the subscribe button. We love y'all.
Yes.
Peace.